Hey, this is Bree and Ashley with Stevens Real Estate at EXP.
You are listening to Hudson Valley Homegrown, where we talk all things real estate, growth mindset,
Women in business, entrepreneurship,
all in the Hudson Valley. So,
and good vibes all the time.
hope you enjoy the show. Hey guys, it's Ashley and Brianna with Stevens Real Estate, and we are Hudson Valley Homegrown.
Welcome back. We're so excited to be talking about all things green today, cannabis, farming, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
So welcome back. And yeah, let's kick it off with a little cannabis talk and why we're coming to you with some information, and things are changing in our industry with people buying farms, cannabis being legalized in a lot of different states. So
Retail opportunities.
yeah. So why is the Hudson Valley a good destination for a boom in kind of cannabis and growth?
Well, number one, it's legal throughout New York, but as well as all the other, farm to table, great soil, got the Hudson River. So it's a great area to grow it. And there's land and there's acreage to do so. So
Yeah. I know Ash has a lot of experience with, she's a farm girl through and through, and
Yeah.
you kind of grown up on a farm and apple orchards and all of that. So yeah, tell us about, there was just a festival recently.
there
the Cannabis
was
festival.
Minor
So-
Family Farms. They had the first Cannabis Festival. There's going to be another one July 15th as well. It was good. Red Man came out. There was a ton of different vendors and a cannabis showcase, as well as some fun activities for the people that attended. So, and I also worked for Hepworth Farms, which grows, processes, and distributes locally.
So there's a lot of areas up in the Hudson Valley that have kind of jumped on the bandwagon with farming, and they started kind of, right, they got their foot in the door with hemp farming.
Yeah, with CBD.
And then, yeah, obviously when things were legalized, now cannabis, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And I think there's going to be a pull for both. I think that the healing properties of the CBD are super important. And then the, the cannabis for the pain relief and things like that.
yeah. So,
like individually, I know you're allowed 12 plants per person.
oh, wow.
Yeah. Yep. I believe it's 12. Don't quote me on that for New York State.
I still think it's weird because like I'll go into show properties and I'll see like a grow tent, or I'll see like a weed plant like in their backyard, and I'm like, ooh, it's so weird. But like there's farmers markets that distribute, and
Right.
people walk all over and smoke joints and all that. So
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's crazy. We went to one together in New Paltz.
Yeah.
And you show your ID, and then you get to look at all the
barely
different
made it through
vendors.
dinner.
I know. It was interesting.
So Hudson Valley and cannabis is really taking off. There's a lot of big developers that are coming from California,
Yes.
Denver, like all over here. I know there was a big one recently in Ellenville, and I'm blanking on the name now.
Canistock or something.
No, we'll have to find out and include it. But there's a lot of developing happening. So a
Yeah.
lot of our clients are now looking to get into this industry because it's kind of untapped, and it's actually a little hard to get in.
It's hard to get in
Yeah.
because it's so heavily regulated. I know personally I've had several people reach out that are like, we want acreage, we want to grow, we want to sell
Yeah.
it. And it's not that easy. There's a long process, a lot of paperwork, and you have to get the proper approvals. So that being said, though, there are a little pop up, and that's if you go the legal route. There's always the other route to do it. But I think for job opportunities as well,
Yeah.
it's going to bring a lot to the area, because not only straight distributors, but then you have consumption sites, and then you're going to have, cafes that are going to do infusions with it.
Totally.
So,
And one of those, you recently kind of just helped a client with one of
yeah,
those
we can't talk about it
transactions.
yet, but it's going to be fun. They're going to do some infused cannabis. It's set somewhere in the Hudson Valley with beautiful views and a hiking trail next door. So I think it's obviously going to change the Hudson Valley, and it's going to change all over New York, because it's just going to offer more opportunities. Like, just like you can go to a bar and have some alcohol, like you can go to a cafe and have, the menu, like kind of like Amsterdam.
Yeah. A little bit. Okay. And I think a lot of clients that we work with in real estate come up from the city.
Yeah.
And obviously the city is the Hudson Valley has now become a huge melting pot for all different types of people from all over. But I think it stems from people coming from Manhattan, Brooklyn,
Right.
the city. And then now they're coming up here looking at more opportunities to kind of get into all that. So
yeah. So even further than just the cannabis, I mean, bringing it back to the basics, I think there's a lot of individuals that are stepping back from, like I saw something on TikTok the other day. It was like the 80s and 90s rich man had like big cars, fast boats, huge house. Like today it's like you've got land, you've got a home, and you're living like off the land. You're living totally, as a minimalist and adapting more of like a greener lifestyle. Yeah. So I know we wanted to touch base on like compound living and what that means for people. So,
a lot of our clients are looking for these compound properties. So a compound basically is a property with multiple properties on it. And I feel like they're few far in between, and you can, people are either looking to buy land and then build, a few different properties on it. Like I know the tiny homes have been popular, but a lot of people are looking for compounds to come up and then be with their family, grow, farm, have little chickens and stuff like that. And that's
afford it too, because I know for a lot of people, it's, with the interest rates and the cost of living these days, like that's the only way they can purchase is to bring in other parties and kind of do like a more of a communal living situation. Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot more interest in a lot of people kind of reverting back to how things used to be. And I think it was a simpler time. And I think through COVID, I think a lot of people realized, one, that they spend a lot more time at home. So they need more space. And two, like with things changing, we don't have to go too deep on like government and all that BS, but things are changing. And I think people are starting to wake up to what's really happening in the world.
Right.
Instead of just putting their head down and moving forward. I think a lot of people are waking up to it, myself included.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to provide for our families and for ourselves should we need to. Right. So I think a lot of people are looking for that. And the Hudson Valley, I think, is a great place to do that because there's so many, you have all the different seasons, which is great for farming different crops and at different times. And there's still a lot of opportunity that people have not even scratched the surface of yet.
And the land here is, I would say, more protected. So, with the zoning laws, whether that be, 1.5, 2 acres, like
there's different zoning requirements. Yeah. Right.
And so it's not like you're, example,
on
Westchester on top of each other.
And I think that's great because a lot of properties, and the zoning requirements, just to, go into that a little bit, it's basically what a house is zoned for. So can you, like basically the minimum acreage, it could be 1 acre, could be 1/4 of an acre, depending on where, but sometimes it's even up to 5 acres minimum zoning. Yeah. Which is nice because you can't just put houses on top of houses.
Right.
You need at least some land and some buffer between that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think, I'm seeing a lot more of community gardening too, which I think
we have
is
one in our town.
Yeah, super cute.
Yeah.
There's one in Highland?
No, New Paltz.
Sorry. Oh, New Paltz, yeah.
We're like halfway from
We should start one in Highland.
We should.
That'd be cute.
Yeah. And I think that's just like I feel like a lot of people kind of during COVID went away from doing things as a community. They were just at home and afraid to collaborate and do things. And now I think people are starting to get out more and do stuff like that.
And I think COVID really gave people the opportunity to take a step back and realize like, it's not just always so much like the grind forward, like what's important, let's get back to basics. A lot of what's going on in the world right now is like exposing, I would say, the higher ups for the corruption.
It's so deep.
Yeah.
You could go deep, but I think even us as realtors, we are in this day in and day out and this is our lives, right? We do this every day. But I think we also realize that we need some time for ourselves and we need to, enjoy doing things that we like to do. And, whether that be gardening, whether that be working out or whatever. I think people are just wanting a more like wholesome life.
Balance. Yeah.
A more balanced life, a more wholesome life, and not necessarily needing to go. Right. And I'm really seeing, it could just be like my TikTok feed, but like a lot of this stuff is like how to slow down, how to enjoy,
well, like mental health awareness, like mental health is a serious issue, especially for Americans. And I think it's because we've adopted this mentality like it's never enough.
Totally.
And of course, growth mindset, like once you reach a certain point, like but if you can put all the amount of work and energy and effort into creating something that if you don't give yourself like that opportunity to step back and balance and breathe, you're just constantly hitting your head against the wall. Yeah. And I think
we've all felt that.
Yeah. And there's something to be said about, being in the actual moment and flowing a certain way and being guided by the universe or, whatever, just to be present and be there.
And allow things to just happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the flow state, we also need to flow with nature.
We need to flow with nature, get outside, make a garden.
Yeah. Let's talk about a lot of people reverting back to their roots. I mean, I think a lot of people on their criteria with our clients coming up from the city, I think a lot of people either want to be like walking distance to things or they want land. Like a lot of my clients are like, I want, they say like a minimum of 10 acres. I'm like, you don't know how big 10 acres is.
Right.
Like, do you have a lawnmower?
Right.
Like,
right.
But I think a lot of people want more land to do things like farming, have more space to potentially build other structures for their family.
Yeah. Hike, and
yeah.
I know some people are like, oh, more land. I don't want to keep up with it. But there's a way you could do it where you like,
Right.
you have your lawn, your grass area, and the rest is wild. So
yeah,
it's
there's been a really, I saw this in like a few properties over the springtime, but a lot of people were not mowing. I don't know if I agree with this, but they were letting like the wildflowers just grow up. So the back of the lawn was like all wildflowers. It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah. I've seen that. We showed up to a higher end property that was like that. And my client was like, is this place abandoned? I'm like, nope, this was their choice. Like they're just letting it run wild and free. And I like it. When we went, it wasn't like the spring or the summer. So everything was dead, but I could imagine it looked beautiful.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people don't know what really is involved when owning a property, especially with a lot of land. I mean, there is maintenance up here. We do get snow, sometimes quite a bit of snow.
Yeah. So you have mowing, you have snow removal. I think one of the most beneficial things about living up here is being able to do the farm to table and to support your local growers. Adams Fair Farms, there's a lot of cafes in the area that source locally, more organic, less pesticides.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of ways that, we can all, do that to support the environment and just to be more sustainable. So I think a lot of areas up here are great for that. And a lot of restaurants, they'll have like their little garden in the back. And that's great. And I think that people should really literally take a step back and realize like when you're buying all these things and ordering all these groceries, like kind of considering where they came from and like, with the amount of waste in the world, I think it's, super important to really support your farmers. Like people don't understand farming is hard. When I was in high school, I was in an AP Euro class and we had to do like community service or something. This is actually a funny story. So I volunteered at a CSA. It's I don't even know what it stands for. Community supported agriculture.
Right. I was going to say, did you pack out like the little boxes?
I was in the garden planting.
Oh my God.
On my hands and knees. And I remember my tan was amazing. So I love that. But my back was so sore because they didn't have any like tilling or whatever. Everything was like organic. So we literally were like there with a little shovel, digging and planting and covering. And then we'd move over two steps, digging, planting, covering. So I got to realize what that was like in high school. Yeah. And I thought it was so cool because there's a lot of these CSAs around and you like help contribute and then you also get to reap the benefits and you can go there and like pick up some stuff. And and it was super cool. But I thought that was like a cool experience to learn. Yeah. I love gardening, but I think a lot of people don't realize what actually goes into it.
Right.
And especially with the different climates, like whatever, global warming, but some crops like were totally destroyed last season.
Yes.
So I think
you can get a freeze. It could be too wet. You can get, there's many different things that can happen. But I think the Hudson Valley as a whole is very bountiful. And I think a lot of people are coming up here from the city and realizing that it's not just like, it's a destination, but then it's also like, it's a way of life. You're going out and you're, browsing the wineries and you're going apple picking and you're like, it's a whole lifestyle.
And all of the local wineries and breweries, the cider, it's all with stuff that they grow here. Some have pesticides and some don't. We want to talk about that. But
what's your favorite like local winery or brewery to go to?
I feel like, I don't know. There's so many.
There are so many.
I don't know. I used to like White Cliff a lot. It's in Gardner. Yeah. And it has really great views of the Gunks. But I haven't been there. Honestly, I've been so busy that I really haven't enjoyed like the actual stuff that's like in our backyard. But there's so many cool spots.
There are. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you say yours is?
Bad Seed. Well closed. Only because it's like right next door to my house. So I can like go there and walk home or not that I drink, but every once in a while I'll have one of their hard ciders.
Yeah. there's so many places around here all over.
To be outside at nighttime under the stars, with like.
Super cool.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah. So. And I think a lot of people that are from the city, like that's a lot of the attraction of coming up to the Hudson Valley is experiencing all these things that do incorporate farm to table, locally grown fruits and ciders and all that good stuff. And I think that we almost, I don't want to say take it for granted, but kind of, because
we're immersed in it.
I'm
every
like, yeah,
day.
I can go there all the time.
Right.
But yeah, it's super cool. And I think like I've had clients, and I love this. It's like a farm and gardener, and it was right on the Wallkill River, but they specifically were looking for a house so that they could start a farm.
I love it.
And they were coming from I think like Tarrytown area, but the property, like the house was very dated, very not great, didn't appraise for much. Like they had to have an appraisal gap. But the farmland was perfect.
Yeah.
They like were very in depth with like what they needed to do to test the soil. They did like all these crazy tests in the water test. And long story short, the soil was amazing. The land was amazing. So the house, it didn't really matter. So to a lot of people that are looking to do this, sometimes that doesn't even matter. Like a land with an old barn or something like that.
And you can get a house that's a little bit more dated for a reasonable price and then fix it up as you're living in it and make it cater to your needs. And it's like, you know,
and what
it's
I
great.
think about now is character. Like that property now is going to be worth so much more because that farm is already done and because it's, you know, because location and because they've updated the property. So it's like, I think a lot of people want to have all these things, even like a garden. Like people think they need so much stuff to start a garden. It's like you could do a garden in your kitchen. You could do a garden with cardboard. You could do a garden out of like shoe boxes, like
out of a barrel,
literally anything. So I think a lot of people, it's like anything in life. I feel like people don't start because they think they need X, Y, Z.
Right.
And this could apply to anything in life. But I think that just taking the step to be more conscious, to do more, to be sustainable and to support yourself and all that. I mean,
get some chickens. We were just saying that
I'm
chickens are like
chickens.
You're afraid of chickens?
I've never held one. God. I don't know.
They're the best.
A lot of my clients have them. But
I feel like everybody starts with chickens. And then next thing you know, they have like pigs and goats.
Yeah. So what'd you say before? What are chickens?
They are the gateway drug to farming. Because you become like addicted to it. And I mean, for me, I love going out there in the morning, getting the fresh eggs, feeding them. I talk to my chickens. I pet my chickens.
They all have little personalities.
They do. Yeah. Then we got goats.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But I think that whether you're coming up here from the city or if you live here, you know, reach out. I love when especially we have new clients that aren't used to this area and they're asking like, what can we do? Where do we go?
Right.
Like, there's so much fun to be had in a wholesome, pure way, I guess.
Yeah. So obviously like we're localized here in the Hudson Valley. And I think the cannabis industry has just only begun and taking over cannabis farming, all of that. So we're happy to help shed light on, you know, if you're looking for a property up here, if you're looking for a right area, there's so many different areas in the Hudson Valley with different soil, with all the different stuff. And
whether you're looking for a land, for a house, for both.
And we have connections too with some attorneys that help with cannabis law. And we work with a lot of local farms that do cannabis as well. So we definitely are here to help. If you guys have any questions, definitely reach out. We'd love to show you some land and walk the property. If you come with me, I might bring my dog. Abby's been on a bunch of land showings before.
I love it.
She's the best.
So much fun.
So yeah, I mean, I think overall, you know, our goal with talking about this is just knowing that like the industry is always evolving and changing. And one time people are looking for single family houses. The next people are looking for multifamily compounds, land. Like there's so much area of opportunity within real estate. So obviously, you know, if you're looking in the Hudson Valley and beyond, we can totally help you.
Yeah. And even if you're not looking and you're thinking about looking, you know, or you feel like you're stuck, like we can offer some guidance and some avenues to go down.
Yeah.
So
and
we'd be happy to help.
Yeah. And I feel like we just encourage you to kind of take a step back, appreciate your farmers, appreciate your area, wherever you live. I mean, I think we all take for granted where we come from. And I think this is, a good piece of advice to have people kind of step back and maybe do something that you haven't done in a while that will make you appreciate where you come from.
I love it.
Yeah.
We'll take the advice ourselves too.
Yes. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next episode. As always, you can follow us on social, comment below, and we're here to help with real estate and beyond.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Ashley at HVNY and Bree
Bartletta.
Bartletta.
See you there.
Bye.